Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Emily. Today we have a Sim speed build. I was inspired to do this because I've been really into The Sims lately, and I bought my first expansion packs. I bought Tiny Living and I think it's called like Magical Realm. Oh, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but Realm of Magic. I just gotta swap them. Anyway, so for this build, I really wanted to go for a modern tiny home, using the Tiny Living pack and the base game pack only. I think I did that. I tried to stay away from anything else that I had. I only have three. I have the Realm of Magic, Tiny Living, and oh, what's the other one? Get Famous. There we go. I tried to stay away from all that. It's not too hard because they have the icons at the top of everything. Anyway, so I was going for a really modern look, like kind of geometric, like that flat, you have that flat roof space right there and the one slanted roof. It was a lot of finagling things around. I'm not very good with modern builds. Like, I think a lot in like your classical or colonial or cottage or your suburbia house style, but here I really wanted to try my hand at something totally different. I tried doing, I don't know if you saw, I tried giving it like a raised foundation to see what it would look like, but it wasn't quite working with the look I was going for, so I ended up lowering it back down to a flat slate foundation. I raised up the walls. I made them the mid-level wall, and that top part of where those windows are, where I just put that I don't know what it's called, but that lining at the top of the wall, it's actually not, it's a half wall. I tried to do it where like part of the house had tall ceilings, the other half had short ceilings, but the only way to really do that was to give the top part, like treat it like an upstairs part of the house. So I think that contributed to the tile count. This is one of the larger tiny homes. It's the last tier. It's tier 3. It says at the top, I think it's like 84 out of 100. I can't see what the number says right now. My screen is kind of small where I'm VOing this. But I'm working on the backyard here. I definitely wanted to give it like a patio space, not so much a porch, but just patio with a door, going from like the house into the backyard. And I was going for a minimalistic kind of idea. You kind of see I'm playing around with the low fence here. I didn't want to give it a traditional fence, but just something like to kind of separate the outside from the in, so I went with that. It was kind of hard making that fence because if I drew it from the foundation out, it made it counted as a part of the house. So then I would go over my tile count and then it would raise it up on a foundation, and that's not what I wanted to do. So it took a bit, but I had to draw it from the yard in. Or was it the other way around? Oh, I can't remember, but it's one of those, like, if you end up doing it and it was from out, if you drew the fence into the foundation, it would cause it to raise up and become part of the house, but this way it's just a fence. The landscaping was hard. I ended up getting rid of that tree. I guess a lot of this was hard because it's not what I'm used to building. Just kind of like going for that minimalistic but not leaving it barren kind of way. Windows, because it is smaller, I didn't want the whole house to be windows because you gotta have some privacy, right? And it's just kind of like figuring out which windows I wanted to go, like in what spots, and if I wanted to have a lot of different kinds of windows. But again, the figuring out the front porch was fun. I really liked how that looks. I don't know, it's just really visually pleasing, and definitely what I had in mind, what I pictured in my mind. It just popped into my head, and I wanted to build it. So yeah, the inside, once it gets to it, was really hard as well, just because it was so small, and just trying to figure out how to put everything in but stick to the style, and it was very challenging, and it was fun. I ended up getting rid of that fountain, and I moved that lamp. I replaced it with a different kind of lamp above the door, and then I had the it's not a balcony, but just like the overhanging. I thought it looked really cute, gave it more dimension. And I found these bushes. I believe they're base game. Yeah, they're base game. I don't think I have any other sort of bushes or shrubs from other packs, but they were that manicured yet not overly manicured look I was going for. And these plants just looked really cool at the front. They kind of had that Florida, California vibe where you might find a house like this. I'm thinking Florida because we had a lot of those plants. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. Sorry about that. But we had a lot of them in our yard when we lived in Florida a while ago, and I changed it to a tin roof because I just thought that was kind of rustic and it looked really cool and added a different dimension. Of course, I'm adding the mailbox and the trash can, and then we're moving on to the inside. Now you can see the window layout. It does change drastically. Those windows in the front, back, and not the front, but the windows on the side and the back change a lot. I'm going in and putting in the bathroom. It was just gonna be one bath. It's small. There's no room in here for anything else. So we just have the one bathroom, and I apologize for the really weird angles. I was trying to find how to like get down in that kind of tilted angle, like where you can like get inside the build without the walls being in the way, but without lowering the walls, if that makes any sense. It's not first person view. I tried looking that up and it was not what I was looking for. But I actually found it today, so in future Sims videos I will be using that so we can like get down and really play with the build more and hopefully clutter it up more. This build isn't as cluttered as I would usually like to make them, like things on the counters and on the coffee table and the desk. Very minimalistic, one because I felt that fit the build more. And maybe the sim that lives here, because it is a small modern home, that kind of tiny living. Like they're very minimalistic but very expressive with the few things that they have. I really love this bathroom. It is so cute. I love the shelving unit above the toilet and the sink that came with tiny living. I love it so much. I hadn't used them before now, and it was so much fun. So here you see I'm just trying to find the windows that work where I want them to be. I play around with a few more things. I think I end up taking those windows out, and here I am playing with the different Murphy beds and the futons. Trying to see if I can get it to fit. I really wanted to use it, but I didn't know where to put the TV, and now that I'm looking at it, I have another idea, and I think it's honestly better than what I came up with. But this build is, I'm gonna upload it to my gallery, and I will have my username listed below for Origin, and my Origin username listed below, and you can go and look at the gallery and download this and do whatever you want on the interior if you want. I did use mostly tiny living and base game, so it won't mess you up too much if you don't have tiny living, because most of it is base game. Like the whole build will be there, but I know a lot of people have trouble like using the build tools and just like trying to figure out what a house would look like. But yeah, these are the curtains I chose. I used those ones that are usually the default swatch is the stripes. I changed it to the blue and the green. I know they're not quite long enough to reach the bottom of the windows, but there aren't really a lot that I have. You can always change those out if you want. Yeah, I thought the colors, like the bright colors, kind of like the walnutty, would you say walnut? Oh, I don't know, like that kind of yellowy orangey wood, and then like the bright colors on top I thought were really cute. Oh my god, the kitchen. Trying to figure out where to put the kitchen. and then also leave room for the bed, like a bedroom or like just a place to sleep, was so difficult. And then I realized, I see like, oh, the counter is blocking the doorway. So I try and move the living room around in order to fit where I'd move the doorway over and to see if that would work. And then it just like, it didn't work. And then earlier on, I cut it out because it was so much. This build took about 3.5 hours to do. So 3.5 hours condensed into 15 minutes. Like, girl, it was a lot of cutting out, but a lot of it was menu scrolling too. But I eventually put the doorway back where it was and then figured out what to do with the kitchen from there. And here I'm trying to figure out how to do the bedroom space. It was really hard with all those windows, with the tall, like, floor to ceiling window at the very front of the house. And I was so determined not to change those windows because they look so good from the front. And I guess, you know, if you wanted to make the build bigger in the back, it wouldn't be a tiny house anymore. But if you wanted to do that, you could, like, make it the dining area. It would be a great dining area. But it ended up being the bedroom and, quote unquote bedroom. Oh, I moved the bathroom door over too. You can kind of see where it is right there because I put that table for the kitchen there. Anyway, so I ended up putting that partition, that screen, that clothes screen in front of the windows to have some privacy. And maybe they're like tinted windows. Like the sim knew that they really wanted, you know, a lot of natural light in their bedroom, and they just had to have the floor to ceiling windows in their bedroom. So maybe they had the glass tinted so they can see out but no one can see in, so it still have a lot of light coming in. But I just made a little nook, a little bedroom nook. I eventually put a dresser over there. You can see this like soft yellow that I picked, like, I guess it's more of an off-white that I picked for the wallpaper. I thought about doing a different wallpaper or paint for every room, but it's a small and I wanted everything to be kind of cohesive. I just kind of threw some art up. I was getting a little, I don't know, kind of impatient with everything coming together. Threw down some rugs. I added a plant and just a little entryway. I love the lights, these lights that came with Tiny Living. There's 3 like lengths of wire. So this is like the medium one, but there's like the short, the medium, and the super long. And I love them. They look so good. Kitchen is so drab. I wish I could have put more clutter in, but like I was saying, it was really hard with how small it was, and also keeping in mind that I was recording this for other people to view. Trying to get clutter on the counters. I wanted to get something, and you can see, like, I use the cheats. I use the Alt key to have free movement, and I have BB move objects on. I almost forgot a trash can, guys. Just like trying to get that paper towel roll there. For some reason, it would only let me move in a certain spot, and it was so annoying. And I'll have to look into that. I'll have to do a little more research on free movement. Like, I got inspired a lot by Simlissy. I'll link her channel down below. She's amazing. She's so good at building. Yeah, I'll link her channel down below. Yeah, I thought about putting these movie posters up, and it didn't fit the vibe at all. Not a vibe. But I ended up putting a dresser in, this cute little Tiny Living dresser. I love it. I couldn't decide whether I wanted the short one or the kind of like, well, the skinnier one or the shorter, wider one. I ended up going with that, because like I said, it filled the space a little more without taking up too much room. I played with the swatches a little bit more to kind of get the furniture to match. Yeah, it was kind of hard because the wood wouldn't quite match, and I didn't want to use that round end table again, but I ended up going back and pulling that Tiny Living one, this one right here, out. I used it in the living room, but it's just like, you know, maybe they got like 2-for-1 deal or something, you know. Threw up some art, and I really wanted to use this shelf, and I just put it in the kitchen really quickly, and we're coming up on the screenshots, and I hope you liked it. Bye.